Hey everybody, welcome back. We are talking now to the cast of Fear the Walking Dead. Lenny James, Alicia Debnem-Keri are here, Morgan Jones, Alicia Clark. This is very exciting. Thank you both for taking the time to talk with us in your Comic-Con schedule.
You're more than welcome.
Of course.
So it's been a strange year. Production was shut down in March, which it's so bizarre to get things rolling, get that momentum, get back with the gang. And you're almost, how far along were you guys before the call came down to halt immediately for an unknown amount of time?
We reached our mid-season hiatus. So we shot 8 episodes. We got 8 episodes to shoot for season 6.
Okay. Wow. So, and so what, I mean, and then when that happens, I mean, what is like the reaction from the cast and crew? What do you guys think immediately? Like, did you think it was just going to be like a couple weeks and now we all just have no idea?
Well, it was very gradual, really. So initially we were already going to have a week's hiatus. And then we were told that that week was going to be 2 weeks. And then we were told that that 2 weeks was going to be a month. And now they're just not putting a time on it.
Yeah, they stopped even trying to give us like a timeline, basically. They're like, oh, well, we'll just get to it when we get to it.
Yeah, it's such a strange year. A lot of people are going through that. Hopefully the world gets back to normal or some version of that soon, because we can't wait to get more news and episodes from you guys. I just have to come right out with it, Lenny, man. I saw that trailer. Is Morgan's head going to end up in a box? What's going on here?
Is Morgan's head going to end up in a box? So that's the first of the questions I can't answer. I think we should see how many questions you can ask us that we literally can't answer. Am I going to be a head in a box? Is Justin Timberlake going to sing a song about me? I don't know.
I feel like we're back to the Walking Dead season 6 finale all over again, because back then nobody could say anything, but back then you were the one who could talk because you weren't part of the cliffhanger. Now you are the big cliffhanger. Nobody knows for sure what's going on. Is that a weird experience for you to have to be so tight-lipped to just like you can't say a word about it?
It is, yeah. I mean, I'm kind of used to it, to be honest. I mean, that's that's kind of what you sign up for when you sign into this universe. So yeah, it is. It's quite good fun. I mean, the difficulty is forgetting. Luckily, lockdown has helped me keep the secret because I'm not seeing anybody. You're like the only people I've spoken to this week who aren't in the same apartment as me. So it's been very easy in one way to keep the secret.
There you go. You have a bit of an advantage there, so that's nice. I remember when you had to go to Atlanta and like stay in the private places, and like you had to like sign NDAs like with the people who were hosting you. So that's all. This must be kind of a nice break.
It is. Although now I feel like I was in lockdown before I was in lockdown. So I should be better at it, but I'm not.
You're made for this twice over. The apocalypse show, the privacy. You're made for this. Now, Alicia, I got to talk to you about Alicia Clark. First of all, happy late birthday.
Oh, thanks.
You know, usually we get to say happy birthday at Comic-Con, but we'll say it over.
I know. It's different this year.
It's bizarre. I feel like birthdays don't count this year. None of us are aging. We're gonna pass a bill, so we do it all over again in 2021. So nobody gets old.
I felt that way for a while, but then I actually ended up having like a really lovely birthday. I think because people feel sorry for everyone who's having a birthday during quarantine, because especially like in March, I was like, I'm not having my birthday in quarantine in July. Like, no, it'll be fine. It's like, here I am, just late July. Like, oh, okay. But because everyone is, I think feels a little sorry for you. Everyone was super nice, and I ended up having a really great time. So
well, there you go.
I don't
mind.
mind.
Good to hear. Okay, so not having a really great time right now is Alicia Clark. The last we saw her, and she's, I mean, like these writers, these characters, they've taken everything from her. Family's gone, and now, I mean, all her friends are gone. So in season 6, I mean, do you think she's even open to the idea of letting people in anymore? Do you think she can go back to any sort of family?
I feel like at the end of, season 5, we really got to a place where she decided that you can't really move forward unless you're willing to be open to at least even the idea of it, and I think attempting to I think what Morgan and Alycia had really discovered, you know, together, and what Morgan had kind of the wisdom he shared with Alycia really did ring true by the end, where it was an understanding that you kind of don't get to choose who you're with, and you can choose like how you go through life with them, and that you do need to sort of let people in, otherwise you're not really living. So I think we've seen Alycia become so broken, and she has lost everything, as you've said, and I think there is no other way for her to go other than up, and you kind of do have to build that back up. So I have a lot of, hope for her to make the best out of her situation.
Yeah, setback for a comeback. We'll see.
Yes.
A major comeback. Boom. But 6 years on this show. I can't believe it's been 6 years. I can't believe we've been talking about this show for 6 years already, and we're still going, which is awesome. What still surprises you when you show up to set? I mean, are you still surprised when they're like, all right, we got these guts for you today, or some of the twists and turns of the script? What still gets you?
I will say, I can say something. There's one episode we did before hiatus, which was, there was a way that they've done the walkers that I've never seen before, and that that were my favorite ones thus far. I think people are gonna freak out over them. They're so cool, and it really did up the ante. I was like, I've never seen it look like this. This is incredible. So I mean, they always up their game every single year. It's amazing what they're able to do. But yeah, there's an episode in this one that they'll like, I think.
I can't wait to see the.
Do you know the one I'm talking about, Lenny?
I do. I know it immediately.
Oh, okay. We're keeping inside secrets here. Okay, cool, guys. Very cool. Whatever. Lenny, I'm going to turn that question to you. 10 years into this, you're the longest running cast member in either franchise now that Andy has.
Am I?
Yeah. I mean, you were in episode 1 of TWD. Andy has left the show. Congratulations. You have the longest tenure as a TWD cast member.
You should get like a plaque for that.
I should get something, right?
Yeah, you should.
I've got
my watch.
In the mail. But I mean, it's a similar question for you, because what have you with Fear been able to do that you weren't able to do on TWD, and kind of take advantage of and do with Morgan, or even as an actor filmmaker? Like, what has that experience been like for you, and how does it still keep being refreshing for you?
Until I kind of came back onto The Walking Dead as a regular, a lot of telling Morgan's story was done in big leaps. There were big jumps between who he was and who he ended up being when you saw him again. When I went back as a regular, it's a huge cast. There's a lot of kind of story to tell. On Fear, it's been a little bit more of a step-by-step development of the character, and that's been a kind of refreshing change, just a different way of telling the story of the character. But in the same vein as Alycia was saying, I think this season, the way the boys, Andrew and Ian, have chosen to tell the story this season, I think it's going to be interesting for the fans to see. We're not telling it in the structural way that the stories happened before. They're diving into a more anthology way of telling the story, and slightly shaping the time jumps kind of differently, and spending a bit more time diving into character.
Nice. That sounds really cool. And there's a story in the comics which is filled out by Michonne, where she finds a long lost child at the Commonwealth. And since Denai is no longer a part of TWD, a lot of the fans want to see, because listen, we've been taught, and this applies to you right now too, but we've been taught in this franchise, don't think they're dead until you see a body, that Dwayne might still be out there. Do you think is that a story? I mean, the emotional payoff of that, I think, would be amazing. I would love to see you act that reunion out, because you're such a tremendous actor. Is that a story that you're familiar with? Have you heard about that? And do you think that would be a cool thing to carry out in this franchise?
I have heard hints of it, and a bit like you, I'd be very interested to see the effect that would have on Morgan. Wouldn't it be funny? I'll tell you, this will be funny. If Dwayne's alive, but Morgan's dead. How much fun would that be?
Oh my God, don't
Put
even.
that out
That
there.
one would blow the fans' minds. I'm not saying that is the case. I'm not saying it's not the case. I'm just saying stranger things have happened and have happened. Yeah, I have heard of some of those theories about where Dwayne is. It would be interesting, and you know, this being what it is, like I said, all things are possible, and it would certainly be a couple of interesting scenes to play. That's for sure.
You can't put that kind of energy out here in 2020, man. Got to be careful. But
Getting everyone riled up.
Yeah. But I would love to see it. And Alycia, I mean, it seems like Alycia Clark's going to have no choice but to kind of harden up and bring out some badass this year, because Virginia doesn't seem like an ally, at least from what we know so far. Her and Strand might be cooking something up if you do come face to face with Virginia, with Colby. In that role. I mean, what do you think that showdown would be like?
It's so hard to just like, I don't know what to say.
He found the second question. They're gonna be best friends.
They'll be best friends. They'll braid each other's hair, and they'll just like, you know, share some popcorn.
Have sleepovers.
And have sleepovers. Yeah, look. If there's anything I know about Alycia now, is that she is pragmatic, she is thoughtful, she's cunning, she is like, I feel often has taken the best of how other people have chosen to lead groups or have chosen to deal with certain situations. And I think she is often the underdog that comes at you when you're least expecting.
Okay. All right. There.
So I don't know. I feel like Alicia's always got something in the back pocket.
All right.
So like,
before you get in any trouble, that's perfect. That was great. Well done.
I know, like, just like, it's also, there's been so much time in between filming. There's also like that I'm like, wait, has that aired? I'm like, no, it hasn't, because like, but like time just feels irrelevant at the moment. I'm like, what can I say? What's happened? Like,
oh yeah.
Anyway,
yeah.
moving on.
I know everybody who's holding this on their phone looking at this video, if I don't ask, they're going to kill me. Have you talked to Andy since he left TWD? Do you guys think a reunion there is ever possible?
I spoke to Andy this morning.
How's he doing?
He's doing all right. He's doing all right. It's very weird. Yes, we've been texting and emailing each other. So I woke up this morning to an email from Andy, which was a reply to one that I sent him yesterday. So he's doing all right. He's home. It's just everywhere. He's in lockdown. Our industry is shut down. So yeah, he's in lockdown with his family, doing the best to get through it, like all of us are.
All right. Well, you guys enjoy the rest of your con. I'm sure you have a full day of doing these things and getting questions you probably can't answer. So make the most of it. And I appreciate y'all. I hope to see you soon.